the yellow and black handle. With that, angry swarms of warning lights lit up around the cockpit, and Vinali's navigation gear froze solid as all non-essential electrics shut down. They could do without it. When it boiled down to it, what mattered most was keeping the flow to the powered flight controls. Without them, the bomber was out of control. And for the time being, at least, while he needed bootfuls of right rudder to keep her straight, Alcock did still have control. Then the number 2 engine fire warning light went out too. It was a brief respite, but barely more than an opportunity to declare an emergency. As they flew south over Northumberland towards Newcastle, Vinales passed a plot of their position to the captain. Alcock thumbed the transmit button on the control column. "Mayday, Mayday, Mayday," he began. With the fire warning lights out, they weren't out of the woods, but they did have some breathing space. Vinales and Barker looked at each other again, relieved that the situation, while serious, was no longer quite so acute. Then, to his right, Vinales noticed something catch Power's eye. While the AEO had been working through the detailed checks laid out on his flight reference cards, he caught a flicker in his rear-view periscope. "Fire's not out!" he shouted through the intercom. "Fire's not out!" As he watched the flames lick and burn underneath the jet's big delta wing, the number 2 fire warning light came on again. They were going to have to bail out. Air traffic control responded to the mayday, suggesting they try to put the burning bomber down at Euston, a small airfield west of Newcastle. No good, Alcock told them. He was going to try to make it south to the Master Diversion Airfield, RAF Leeming, near Thirsk. Only a front-line station had the kind of emergency facilities that might be able to cope with their arrival. It was becoming clear, though, that even that was too far. As the jet climbed to 9,000 feet, it was beginning to handle raggedly. Alcock knew he had to save the lives of those on board, but only he and his co-pilot had ejection seats. Instead, the backseaters had swivelling seats with inflatable assister cushions. Pulling the yellow and black handle didn't fire the men clear of the aircraft, but merely helped them up and forward out of their seats. They were going to have to jump. "Prepare to abandon aircraft," Alcock ordered. Vinales, sitting in the middle, was pinioned until the men on either side of him vacated their chairs. Roger Barker moved first. His chair swiveled to the right to release him, and he clambered down to crouch at the front of the crew hatch on the floor of the bomber's cabin. Vinales pulled the cabin depressurization handle. "Ready," each of the 3 backseaters called out in turn. "Static line," instructed the captain. "Jump! Jump!" From next to the crew hatch, Barker turned and pulled at the lever that opened the door. At the same time, Vinales hit the switch at the nav plotter station that operated the door electrically. Failsafe. The parachutes, attached with a static line to the roof of the Vulcan's cabin, would open automatically. As the 2 pneumatic rams pushed the door out into the slipstream, a cloud of dust ballooned up into the cockpit. Barker raised his knees up to his chest, clutched his arms around his ankles, and vanished from view out of the 3-foot by 6-foot hole in the cockpit floor. Jim Power was the next to go. Vinales looked at the AEO on his right. He seemed to be struggling with his oxygen mask, unable to free it. Vinales saw the concern in his eyes and quickly moved to help. As he reached out to tear it off, the mask came clear, and Power, too, clambered down over the jump seat to the sill of the open crew hatch. He curled into a tight ball before sliding down the crew door and out towards the Cheviot Hills 9,000 feet below. With Power gone, Vinales pushed his seat back on its runners. Unlike Power and Barker, he didn't trigger the assister cushion. Received wisdom among the nav plotters held that it would only wedge you under the chart table and trap your legs. Vinales wasn't going to test the theory. He unstrapped, got up, and climbed down towards the front of the door. A well-rehearsed escape drill. Second nature. He tucked up tight and let go, plunging quickly along the smooth metal door into the sky below. As Vinales dropped out into the slipstream, from the corner of his eye he caught sight of the 2 pneumatic rams flashing past on either side of him. Then the elemental roar of the 2 remaining engines, straining on full power to keep the doomed bomber in the air, overwhelmed him. It was horrendous, an over-amped, thunderous howl that kept any immediate thought of safety at bay. The parachute jerked open 2 seconds later and forced his chin down onto his chest.